Welcome to some mobile lone vision. I'm not the one that asked you. Anyway, thought I would just speak a bit while driving around, because I don't want to waste any time hardly anymore and everything like that. I'm thinking of putting a video up pretty soon about a situation with DistroKid and everything. I noticed a bit of a pattern when you try to contact their their online support when things kind of go awry, and I really want to state something I noticed about being targeted as them accusing you of doing artificial streams, typically right as you are doing your money withdrawal from them. I had like 6 whole albums that were taken down that I had to go through this really nightmarish process. Well, do you want to attribute that as a nightmare or just an extreme furious obnoxiousness of the process of everything? You know, because I had to like re-upload everything strictly to Spotify only and all that. Got a lovely up ahead here. It's always fun. But anyway, yeah, I said go to the post office and send a thing to get my insurance coverage appealed the disapproval so the insurance is approved for it or whatever. Tried to gather all the papers together of all the times I had to go to the doctors and then had go to one dentist who wasn't doing jack for me, you know. He kept referring me elsewhere and everything. I don't want to be writing about that. I don't want to be talking about that. I'd rather, you know, be in my own little world of jovial creativity and everything. Especially now, since that nerve pain stuff isn't so drastic. Let me just follow the sheriff. I had a sheriff follow me turn for turn about a week and a half ago. They were harassing me. It was great. Nice job. Thank you. And I got a bill in the mail for the toll road crap on my way up to get my tooth extracted. So I got one in the mail. I can't wait to get the other one in the mail. See what the inflation is for a week and a half for toll roads or whatever. It's a little under $10 to pass through a toll road. I remember back in the old day when I was a zillion years old, toll roads were just trolls under bridges that you had to take a piece of plywood and knock in the noggin and then walk right by. You can't do that to the state enforcement and CCTV and everything like that. You pretty much, in New York State, it's an extortionist state and they bleed you dry unless you come here to retire and all that. But the trees, oh my God, they're very lovely looking. Anyhow, yeah, I guess I'm going to grab some screenshots of everything that went on with DistroKid, because I noticed that they do not answer you, and then it says, how did we do with your support ticket and everything? You can rate us, and then you respond back in that email. And then I notice about half a week later, I get one response from one person, and then the same day, a few hours later, another person responds to me, and they both tell me different pieces of information, not anything based on feeling, not anything based on assessment, but information that's supposed to be factual for their system of charging, of monetary fees and everything like that, and they give me completely different numbers. One person gives me one and one gives me another. So I'm up to my ears in the suspicion that DistroKid is becoming a bit scammy, and it's not good for independent artists that don't have like a huge following already, because they can do whatever they wish to do. There must be something in legal terms changed within the last few years, because they were rather decent. Now that sheriff is causing a giant traffic pile because everyone's afraid of getting a ticket from them. So yeah, I know what way I'm going to go to get where I need to go, because I'd have to hop lanes and make a tight, quick turn to get where I need to go. So I'm going to take a wider right ahead of time and everything. Anyway, existing, it feels like shaking off a bunch of damned jackals or piranha jackals, little tiny jackals with piranha teeth. That's a lot of what life is feeling like lately and everything. So I'm trying to get the humility to book another show coming up soon. I know a few places that actually will let me play. The other places, I guess I'm really cool guyed out of and everything, like legitimately. If I could ever get any answers to my suspicions regarding that, that'd be terrific. But, you know, there's a few places that book shows together and everything like that, and maybe it's because I was born in this area. I don't know. I'm never really sure what I did, and I don't really care, like, what an excuse is, because I never had a legitimate one for why it feels like I have to constantly shake off jackals that are the size of piranhas latching onto me, you know. There's something that wiggles on this dashboard that picks up in my recordings, so I'm about to just get a big cinder block and throw it onto the acceleration. I know for a fact this picks up in my recordings, this plastic wiggling. I thought I was good on making some recordings, so I probably have to trash this video. I had a video series I was doing where I was driving up to get that last tooth extracted. Two of them. Not the proudest moment of my life, but I feel good about getting constant nerve pain taken care of and everything, so. Anyway, I'm basically rebuilding my life after experiencing all that damn pain, and I'm getting all this financial stuff figured out with distribution. I do not make hardly anything at all. Again, I'm not expecting to, but I'm wanting a fair distributor, and I guess I'm looking at what's called TuneCore right now. There's so many choices, and you look at the listings of how each of them are different in little ways, but then it's just none of that, honestly, none of that matters. It's the fine print, because once the fine print changes, they can do whatever they want, you know. And I guess I'm just kind of scoping out other people experiencing the same thing, where a request ticket doesn't get answered through DistroKid, and then it does if you basically like respond to how did we do. You know, they want you to like review how it was, even if they didn't respond to you at all. You respond to that, and then they get back to you. But in my case, the last 3 times, and I don't know if it's some like legal loophole for them, where if they can have 2 people answer you, then it's either or. Like, we told you this. It's like, okay. And then officially, it's like, oh, but we told you this. Because there's 2 sets of things that happened with me. One is that my albums were botted or something, and I swear I never paid any money to have any songs botted, because I already know how it is as an independent artist. I'm not dancing around for anyone to have any more excuses to like keep it hard and more difficult for folks like myself. So put my windows down, I guess. I mean, if you want to hear the sound of the highway, which I didn't realize was so helpfully silenced with the windows up. So I guess the exterior sound is softened up pretty good from the windows and everything, but that rattling over here, that's pretty funny, right? Anyway, I guess you can consider this the journey of somebody who is pretty much born in a place that's changed so much that they're not really welcome there anymore. Even though I've done what I've done, I've played things alternative, I've taught myself music and everything like that. I kind of pushed with defending and learning my own way of musical approach, and it's very exciting just to kind of, you know, defend who I am and what I do, because I might as well. Obviously, I'm an outlier. I don't think the romantic image of being an outlier is something that a lot of people realize. There's aspects of being one that are not desirable to live through. They're not always a romantic thing. It's kind of like a cosplay thing in the modern world. You can just have a whole factory of people coming down a product line, and it says alternative, rebel, anarchist, and it's these people, and then they just buy a bunch of stuff, and they have families that are there for them. They have networks and all that kind of stuff. being a outlier that gets shit from that side and gets shit from that side. Meanwhile, I'm just moving through life, trying to learn as much as I can and shake off as many of those piranhas biting into me, those jackal piranhas. You know? Like, I'm still trying to bring fun and excitement to whatever it is that I can do, but you have to fight so hard just to exist. And I think it's because of the geography, and I think it's because I'm in a falling empire. I'm living in a falling empire. And I think it's because people are also getting taught to hate people like me, even though I don't know what I'm considered. Like, I know who I am. I know what I represent, but other people don't. And I'm not here to bend my ways to become something that's the flavor of the moment or anything like that. I just know what I like. I know what inspires me and everything like that. And it's stuff that, can develop rust to it, or it's stuff that you can find and it's like you can knock into it and feel it. Don't knock into me. That's a stupid idea. But it's like a heirloom of, like, growing up and having grandparents that appreciated antiques, and it's having all these old stories and books around and things that were handcrafted and hand done, that kind of thing. Like, I can't help it, and some people can't help but live that way, where you have to have handcrafted stuff and stuff where you do it your own way because you need to, because you have to hang on to those things and push mileage of having things work and survive for you. Because you can't just go out and get another one of this or another one of that all the time. It's not monetarily accessible and everything like that. But I know that people that are like around here don't really give a damn or listen or, give me any opportunity, because I put out to play Porch Fest and everything several times. I got no responses, because I think people look at you and they assume like this and that, but they got to eat their own words. Or if anyone bites their own tongue, also they have to watch out, or else they might get like a haircut on the tongue tip and everything like that. So I mean, and all this stuff is not stopping me from enjoying my life. It's just, man, dealing with all this stuff at once. I can absolutely see why certain musicians and certain artists, they give up and they stop. But some of us are just born with having to express, If I had enough materials available to get things done that I dream of doing, I really think a lot of more fun could be added into the world and everything. If you let somebody actually not be under constant tension 24/7, because my family situation is much different than hit or miss. I mean, I could have a family of my own somewhere, but I'd probably need to be in a different state. I'd like to go get published as an author, live in a state where I feel welcome. Never let my guard down for being able to get as much done as I possibly can. I don't want to ever go into a moment of being lethargic, sedentary, lazy, or anything like that. But I'm living a life where it's a big deal when I get a thing in the mail and it's, New York State toll sending you a bill, and then your insurance that was supposed to cover you getting monumental pain relieved. I'll keep talking about that a few more. I mean, if I have any viewers and they end up getting tired of hearing me talk about that, I'm also representing other people that have to live with lives of pain, nerve pain, medical stuff that needs to be assessed, and then the absolute wonderment and the confusion of why professional industries will not actually help you along the way. Like, I've had so many phone calls with so-called professional helplines for insurance and general health, and they seem just as confused as I am. Or you'll get like 4 people working on something and get 4 different answers of what you're supposed to do, and then it's your own fate of luck sometimes when you actually do get a call back and then you miss the call or something like that. It takes that to add notches of having one's world destroyed, where more of a hands-on survival kind of world of the past was where you represented your own steps and everything. You could represent yourself in a way without having like dozens and dozens of people working subsections and not communicating the correct information to one another in a truthful way, whether they mean to or not, so in my search to get a root canal finished, I know for sure there were some receptionists that were lying to me about what things were available, and then price misrepresentation and everything. So I was running around, and it seemed like, people were content that I was in such a fucking immense pain, But I'm not anymore. I'm a few teeth short from a full set of mouth. But that energy now can be reserved, and anybody that's alive has to keep fighting these things that are not, it's not organic life, it's not natural living, having all these little damned jackal piranhas latching on you all the time. It's basically people who get meat off the bone for making your life harder, and then you have to fight through all of the fluster they throw at you. Because the real world doesn't have these things where you have to constantly feed the middle person. And the people that feed, and they're the middle person between anything, are the ones that don't actually create. And they don't have the will to create or make something and leave their life. And after their life's done, they've left things along. They just take, and they take and take and take. But I live in a state, in an area where, it's like you have to be in a clique. And if I'm an outsider or an outlier, for better or worse, there's not really any understanding from people in cliques if they can't pin you down. Which is weird, because a lot of them dress like and act like and speak like they're outliers. But when they fall and there's nothing they can do, there's always some sort of safety net for them, and that means that they're not outliers and they're not outsiders. All that means for me is I need to either find a new area or find a miracle of getting things to actually work, where if I get a music thing going, people will actually show up and participate, or I bring in my own people, I find my own crew of people. And I only can think of things like Link Ray and the Cramps and Nick Cave and all that kind of stuff, the Sonics, and those are just musicians, and that's a whole like, oh look, I know all of this music from like nostalgic viewpoint and stuff, but it's how I feel with music that still inspires me and everything like that. Like, there's a lot more to add. There's a lot of poets, painters. It's bohemian without meaning to be also, like I don't want any label. I don't want to fall in any niche, because then if you fall too hard into a niche, you have to complete all the expectations of behavior, and you're stuck doing like an eternal cover song of what somebody else did. And I'd like to think that somewhere, if I get a chance to represent again what it is I'm at, or where it is I'm at. I really like adding folklore into the songs I do and everything like that. But I don't want it to be stopping at music. I really want music videos to be associated with it. I want a creative crew. But I've had so many non-returns of, emails or contacts, or having a show and then nobody's showing up, and people saying, yeah, I'd love to check out your show. When you go there and there's no energy to play off, it's just like, why am I here, What's going on with this? So, I guess that's a bit of what I have to say. It's a bit of a rant, obviously. But it's kind of like take it or leave it. I'll just be happy to be secure enough at some point to make some things that push forward too. If I can just have all this stuff figured out, I can achieve and prosper, and then just leave all this stuff behind me, because I'd rather live a life that's exciting. I'd rather go place to place, represent what it is I can bring and everything, It's just, don't expect something different from what you get when you meet up and face with somebody who didn't feel welcome to where they were born, and couldn't really ever find a family situation where they ever felt encouraged, safe, appreciated, or ever asked, what is it that makes you the happiest? What is it that would make you pursue, the achievements you need to get where you need to be? Instead, you kind of find extreme trauma, your pockets run dry, and running for any answers, to figure anything out. So that's how it goes. I'm going to go outside, walk up a trailway that I frequent quite a bit, but don't always go to so much anymore. There's not too many people here either, which is amazing. And that's a bit of a video, at about 20 minutes or so. I guess I'll just consider this all a journal of an outlier who knows their own merit and what it is they're about, but in this modern world of a dying country, doesn't really find any real placement, not yet anyway. See what happens. That's my video.